the October 12th, 2022 morning session of the Portland City Council. Good morning, Keelan. Could you please call the roll?
Good morning. Matts.
Here.
Rubio.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Hardesty.
Here.
Wheeler.
Here. Now we'll hear from legal counsel on the rules of order and decorum. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Portland City Council. City Council is holding hybrid public meetings with in-person attendance in addition to electronic attendance. If you wish to testify before council in person or virtually, you must sign up in advance by visiting the council agenda on the city clerk's webpage at www.portland.gov/council/agenda. You may sign up for communications to briefly speak about any subject. You may also sign up for public testimony on resolutions, reports, or the first readings of ordinances. Written testimony may be submitted at cctestimony@portlandoregon.gov. Your testimony should address the matter being considered at the time. When testifying, please state your name for the record. Your address is not necessary. Please disclose if you are a lobbyist, and if you are representing an organization, please identify it. For testifiers joining virtually, please unmute yourself once the council clerk calls your name. The presiding officer preserves order and decorum during city council meetings so everyone can feel welcome, comfortable, respected, and safe. The presiding officer determines the length of testimony. Individuals generally have 3 minutes to testify unless otherwise stated. A timer will indicate when your testimony is done. Disruptive conduct such as shouting, refusing to conclude your testimony when your time is up, or interrupting others' testimony or council deliberations will not be allowed. If there are disruptions, a warning will be given that further disruption may result in a person being ejected for the remainder of the meeting. After being ejected, a person who fails to leave the meeting is subject to arrest for trespass. Additionally, council may take a short recess and reconvene virtually.
Very good. Thank you. First up is communications. First individual, please. Number 857.
Request of Karen Munford to address council regarding a request for emergency declaration to implement neighborhood greenway at Southwest Troy Street and Southwest Canby Court.
Good morning, Karen.
Hello. Thank you very much. You may or may not remember me from last month. I came to ask for your help regarding Southwest Troy becoming a greenway, help resolve the issue of fast speeds and high volumes along our street. I also have an issue with rainwater runoff, no curves. So rainwater runoff, because of the slant of the street, channels water into my yard, into my house and into my basement ultimately. And it's also a tier 1 project that was part of Southwest in Motion. It was also the featured greenway project. It had an equity score of 5 of 5. But it was shelved by PBOT at the time to do the project in Montgomery and Vista area, which is the wealthiest area of Portland. Equity score of 0. So, and that was conceived to completion in 8 months, and not sure why that happened because that was also a tier 2 project. My street is also used by the Multnomah's Safe Rest Village residents. So I did do a few follow-up emails after I came last month, and didn't hear back from anyone. And so I'm just here to ask for help again. I did talk to Commissioner Ryan's office and talked to Brian, and very nice and very helpful, and thank you very much for that. He concluded after a long conversation and several phone calls he tried to make that he just doesn't have the jurisdiction through PBOT. Commissioner Matz, I could really use your help. I have water runoff into my yard and house. BES did come out and they put a few sandbags in my neighbor's right of way, and you can just guess how effective that was. I called them to let them know that it just doesn't work, and they said basically too bad. That's all they're going to do. And then so I'm begging you, Commissioner Hardesty, to please. This is a very, very important project. It affects pedestrians, bicyclists that use our street, also the Safe Rest villagers, residents that use our street as a connector to transit and parks and schools. It just is a sensical project that needs to be expedited. And so please, may I have your help? Thank you.
Karen, thank you for coming back, and we do remember your testimony. Commissioner Hardesty has a couple of comments.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ms. Munford, for once again coming to City Council. Let me say that you are an ideal activist. We at PBOT were doing a project that did not include your neighborhood. And PBOT actually adapted because of the excellent advocacy work that took place. But as you know, PBOT has limited resources, and we prioritize high crash quarters, routes to school, safe routes to school. And with our limited resources, we were able to accommodate some of your wishes. We will not be able to accommodate them all. So again, thank you so much for being here. I understand your concerns, and we will do the best we can, as we have with you. We work very closely with you. So no assumption that we didn't reach out, try to adapt, and did adapt to accommodate your requests. But in most advocacy cases, most people don't get everything they want, but we have given you all we can at this time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Karen. 858, please.
The next four would like to come up together.
Very good. Next four, 858, 859, 860, and 861, please.
858, request of Ella Newell to address council regarding Kenton and Portland International Raceway. 859, request of Ryan Patel to address council regarding use of leaded fuel at Portland International Raceway. 860, request of Christy Lanciotti to address council regarding health effects of lead at Portland International Raceway. And 861, request of Chris Guthrie to address council regarding use of leaded fuel at Portland International Raceway. They would like to use the time collectively.
Yeah, that's great. So 12 minutes for your whole presentation, please. And the microphones are live about a foot. They're very sensitive microphones, and we'll let you go ahead and take it in any order you'd like. And we thank you for being here in person. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Chris Guthrie. I live in Kenton. Thank you for your time and attention today. Earlier this year, the Kenton Neighborhood Association, or KNA, began voicing concerns over the sale and permitted use of leaded gasoline at the Portland International Raceway, or PIR, a city park. Two recent studies previously shared with all city council members had come out looking specifically at the negative health impacts of leaded gas at racetracks on children and the elderly. The deleterious health impacts of lead exposure for human beings and ecosystems is irrefutably supported by decades of research. There is no healthy level of lead exposure. Our driving question was why, then, does a Portland City Park situated in a historically underserved neighborhood not only allow but sell this toxic substance? On May 13th, members of the KNA met with Commissioner Rubio and representatives from PIR. To our surprise, providing the studies and voicing the neighborhood's concerns were met with inaction, and all of our follow-up communications have been subsequently ignored. We are here today as concerned members of your community, asking the Portland City Council to live up to the ideals of a safe, equitable, and environmentally minded city by ending the use and sale of leaded gasoline at this Portland City Parks venue. In a 4-year period from 2017 to 2020, PIR sold 8,423.5 gallons of leaded fuel. PIR will hide behind a 1996 EPA carve-out, which still allows for leaded gasoline to be used in recreational motorsports. This almost 30-year exception does not reflect current scientific consensus on the danger and costs associated with leaded gasoline. In fact, NASCAR and the Automobile Racing Club of America voluntarily moved away from leaded gasoline in 2007. Which has allowed for recent scientific studies to look at the impact on neighborhood communities after removing leaded fuel. One study estimated that the removal avoided significant IQ reductions for neighborhood children and, quote, 2.2 billion per year from avoided premature elderly mortality, end quote. Another study from 2009 found that one 3-hour race using leaded gasoline emits as much atmospheric lead as the average size airport does in an entire year. Even with this evidence in hand, our pleas to Commissioner Rubio and communications to the entire council have been fruitless. We are now sitting in front of you, a group of city leaders, hoping that your commitment to the equitable environmental safety of Portland is more than just deployed to take a trip to Denmark. This isn't a not in my backyard issue. This is a not in anyone's backyard issue. Today, we want to know, will you take action to protect the children, elderly, and natural ecosystems of North Portland from the potential for lead poisoning from a city park? That's my time.
My name is Christy Lanciotti. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm a parent and a resident of the Kenton neighborhood. I'm also a pediatric nurse with 22 years of experience. I'm speaking today as an individual, but currently I am an assistant professor of nursing at OHSU, and I also work with the Northwest Pediatric Environmental Health Specialty Unit, or PACU, which is part of a national CDC and EPA-sponsored network that does education, outreach, and direct clinical consultation on pediatric and reproductive environmental health issues. Lead is one of the most common concerns we deal with. I'm here to share my view that a city-owned park and recreational area should not be a source of lead exposure in the community, and ask that the city phase out the sale and use of leaded gas at Portland International Raceway. Northwest PACU has already sent a letter to the City Council in support of this action. Although, as I mentioned today, I'm speaking as an individual. There's no safe level of lead in children, and its impacts are irreversible. The well-established effects of lead exposure include, in children and prenatally, include neurological impacts such as attention-related problems, antisocial and criminal behavior, decreased cognitive ability, decreased academic achievement, and decreased hearing. Lead also causes reduced growth, both in fetuses and in children, and reproductive effects such as delayed puberty and adverse impacts on fertility. These are important not only for individuals, but also at the population level, especially when you consider the disproportionate burden of environmental pollution on marginalized populations within our community. Again, the health impacts of low-level lead exposure are irreversible. Because resources to offset the negative impacts of lead exposure are also not distributed equally throughout society, failure to address an avoidable source of exposure runs the risk of deepening existing inequalities. In children, routes of exposure to lead include both inhalation and ingestion, with ingestion actually being more common. Airborne lead settles in soil where it persists in the environment. People can be exposed if they ingest this contaminated soil, and young children are significantly higher risk of this type of exposure through normal, developmentally appropriate behaviors such as crawling on the ground, playing in dirt, and putting their hands and objects in their mouths. Stopping the sale of and use of leaded gas at PIR will not get rid of existing contamination. However, it will reduce a source of future contamination and protect current and future generations of Portland children from a city-sanctioned exposure to lead. People should not have to worry that a Portland City Park is an active source of substances that could harm their or their children's health. I urge you to stop the sale and use of leaded fuel at PIR. Thank you for your time.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners. Thank you for having me today. My name is Ella Newell. My family has lived in Kenton for 8 years. I work in the insurance industry for a Kenton neighborhood agent. My husband, Andrew, is a disabled veteran and an instructor at the Pacific Northwest College of Art. Our daughter, Ruby, here she is 8 years old. She's a third grader at Peninsula Elementary School, and she utilizes the PPS Special Education Services. We live a little over a half a mile from Portland International Raceway. I have always prided myself in being a proactive parent, attending all my prenatal appointments, reading books, and researching everything. Ingredients, toys, preschools, you name it, I looked it up. Early intervention, occupational therapy, and IEPs have been on our radar for years. We moved into Kenton in October of 2014. While our home had been cleared of lead, I understood there were some lead concerns in the neighborhood. I tested our soil and water, removed contamination, and moved forward thinking we had mitigated the lead risk in our yard for the sake of our daughter's health and development. What I did not understand at that time was that Portland International Raceway could be a continuous source of lead contamination to our family due to the use of leaded fuel. Kenton is a historically low-income community with a high percentage of people of color. I understand I come to you from a place of privilege. I have the color of my skin, my education, my socioeconomic background. I have the privilege of standing before you today without worrying about childcare or taking time off work. So I'm here to speak up for my neighbors, the generations of working class families who call Kenton their home. Recent studies mentioned by my neighbors here today have brought to light the danger of leaded racing fuel to communities around the country. I reviewed the 2017 G2 Consultants report that PIR has provided on their website. It states the results of 2 sampling assessments indicated that lead was present in the samples collected at PIR. The bottom line is lead was present and no level of lead is safe in our community. Commissioner Rubio, from what I can tell, environmental justice is really important to you. I'm inspired by your amendments to the Portland Clean Energy Community Benefit Code. I am asking you to stop the sale and use of leaded fuel at Portland International Raceway. Can you make this a priority for Kenton? Can you assure my neighbors and I that Kenton is safe and that we are not being exposed to lead? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Patel. I'm a 16-year Kenton resident. Yeah, I'm pretty loud, so I don't want to overburden everything. Anyway, I lived in Kenton for 16 years. I've served on the Kenton Neighborhood Association board since 2009. Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to bring this health issue to all of you this morning. Back in May, we met with Commissioner Rubio to discuss the leaded gas issue at PIR and bring to light the new study that highlights the health effects of living near a motorsport raceway that uses this outdated fuel. Our meeting was met with skepticism and a lack of urgency. There has been no follow-up from Commissioner Rubio's office, even after sending multiple letters requesting a response. We also copied the mayor and all of you on our last communication, but again, we received no follow-up. Along with that communication, you also received the new study, and it's disappointing that not one of you felt the need to respond, especially given the health hazard to children and elderly citizens. Commissioner Rubio, climate action is listed under priorities on your website. I know you recently went to Denmark to learn about industrial decarbonization, and I see that later today you will be introducing a clean energy code amendment. I applaud your support and I applaud and support your efforts. However, it is perplexing that you can support lead pollution from a city park in a historically underserved neighborhood, given the values in the amendment you were introducing this afternoon. A decision to ban the sale and use of leaded fuel at a city park can be a unilateral decision by you as head of the Parks Bureau and should be a no-brainer. I'm asking for you to be consistent in your environmental commitments. Not only would you be looking out for the health and safety of North Portland residents, but you'd also be looking out for the users and spectators of PIR. Not to mention, it's just the right thing to do. Although we've long known that there is no safe level of exposure to lead, you are now aware of the specific risks of lead exposure from a racetrack in a neighborhood. You know. You can choose not to act, but at this point, choosing not to act can only be seen as intentionally choosing to expose residents, and particularly young and elderly residents, to health risks so that the wealthy, primarily non-Portland residents can play in a city park. Parents of Kenton and North Portland are concerned for their children, and the elderly are concerned for themselves. Please give us something to tell them. After hearing the testimony today and having knowledge of the recent study, I would now like to ask the mayor and commissioners if they do or don't support the use and sale of leaded fuel at PIR. If you are unable to answer today, we respectfully request that you follow up within a week with your stance on the issue and any actions you plan to take. You can reach out to the Kenton Neighborhood Association or to any one of us. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Commissioner Rubio.
I just want to appreciate that you're here today. I also want to say I hear you. I'm sorry that you feel that I have not been, this is not urgent. In fact, it is urgent for me, and I do appreciate what you're saying, and we have been having internal conversations. We are not ready to say anything at this time, but I need you to know that we hear you and we understand the urgency around this, and we will do a better job of letting you know the progress that we're making internally. But we will make sure to get back to you soon. We did have that meeting back in May with OHA and also DEQ as well. They have information that they're going by. We looked at that information. We read yours. We're having internal conversations with PRR. I just want to assure you that we have been making some progress. But we are happy to reach out to you today. And my chief of staff is here in the back, and she will make sure to connect with you before you leave.
Thank you,
Do you have
Commissioner
any
Rubio. Commissioner
timeline
Hard-
on that?
Julian can talk.
Okay.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner Rubio. And I just want to say, you, Kenton neighbors, could give a lesson in a very descriptive, positive presentation to the City Council. It's clear that you care passionately about this issue, as do I. And let me give you a hint. If you really want to hear from the rest of us on an issue that we're not directly, at least let me speak for myself. For me, if you send a letter that's addressed to everybody and it's on an issue that's not in my portfolio, that's not a priority for me to respond to just because it means you're writing to everybody, right? If it's something that's in my portfolio, then I will take the lead, and I do believe most of my colleagues do the same thing. So don't think we're ignoring you. What we're doing is allowing the person in charge to actually do their due diligence before a response is given, right? And but again, you did a great job. It's really clear that you're passionate about this issue, as am I, by the way. I don't have to wait to say that. But I just wanted to explain. All of us get way more mail than we can answer, so we prioritize mail that we can actually do something about. Okay? Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to thank you for being here and appreciate the fact you took time off from work and other responsibilities to be here. And I will certainly educate myself more on this issue. I appreciate you bringing it to our attention. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keelan, have any items been pulled off the consent agenda?
We've had two items pulled, 865 and 866.
865 and 866. Please call the roll on the remainder of the consent agenda.
Maps?
Aye.
Rubio?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Hardesty?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye. The consent agenda is adopted. First time certain item, item number 862, non-emergency ordinance.
Amend the comprehensive plan map and zoning map for property at 4928 Northeast 11th Avenue at the request of Allison Reynolds Stoll Reeves LLP, LU 21-098835 CPZC.
Colleagues, this morning we are back again for a continuation of a quasi-judicial item. This item is a change to the comprehensive plan map and zoning map for property at 4928 Northeast 11th Avenue. As a reminder, this item was in front of the council on October 6th. At that time, the council heard testimony, closed the record, and took a tentative vote in support of the hearing officer's recommendation. We're back today to amend the ordinance and adopt findings in support of the hearing officer's recommendation. The item will then continue for a final vote on a future date. Before we get started, since Commissioner Rubio and I were not at the October 6th hearing for this item, we need to make a few disclosures. I've reviewed the record and I'm prepared to participate today. For the record, I'd like to announce that I do not have a conflict of interest. I have not had any ex parte communication, and I have not made any site visits. Commissioner Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor. I too have reviewed the record and I'm prepared to participate today. And for the record, I would like to announce that I do not have a conflict of interest. I have not had any ex parte communication and have not made any site visits.
Do the council members have any other matters that need to be discussed before we proceed? Seeing none, is there a motion to amend the ordinance and adopt the exhibit to reflect council's further findings and conclusions in support of the hearing officer's recommendation?
So moved.
Can I moved by Commissioner Hardesty? Can I get a second? Second. Seconded by Commissioner Ryan. Colleagues, is there any further discussion before we vote? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Maps?
Aye.
Rubio?
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye.
Hardesty?
Aye.
Wheeler?
Aye. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Council Clerk and our city attorneys. Do we have a date and time certain for this matter to return to the council for a final vote?
We do. It's scheduled for November 2nd at 10:15.
November 2nd, 10:15 a.m., time certain. Thank you. To the regular agenda, item number 870, please. That is a proclamation.
Proclaim October 19th, 2022 to be Portland Trailblazers Day.
Colleagues, today we're proclaiming today, October 19th, 2022, to be Portland Trailblazer Day. I'd like to invite Commissioner Ryan to speak on the proclamation. Commissioner Ryan.
Sure, I'll get this started. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, colleagues, for indulging in my sports fan hobby. Today, the Portland Trailblazers kick off their 52nd season. And over the 52 years, the Blazers have given my hometown and yours so much pride, so much joy, and yes, a lot of heartache. That's what it's like to be a fan. To be a loyal fan, which Portland is known to have a much higher percentage within our city than most franchises. We are known across the country as loving our Trailblazers like no other NBA franchise city. And it's a relationship from the heart. One demographic that's always stuck out for me in terms of loving their Blazers are mothers and grandmothers. And I was exposed to this pretty early in life. I remember I was in town, I was in college, and I'm like, hey, Mom, want to have dinner tonight? And she's like, well, no, I have to watch my boys play. I'm like, I'm your seventh son, what are you talking about? And she's like, the Blazers, it's a big game, and if they win, they go into the playoffs. So anyway, my mom rejected me for dinner because she had to watch the Blazers play. I fast forward with my dear friend Edith Anderson, who was in her 90s, and I was a caregiver of hers, and I'm calling her up, and you know, when you're caregiving, you check in with people, and she was really upset. And she said, yeah, Rashid lost his cool. He lost his cool tonight, and I need to talk to his mom. And she sounded really serious. And she goes, yeah, we got to calm him down, because we got to win this playoff series, and he's just got to keep his cool down. So there it is, another example of a mother, a grandmother loving their children, called the Trailblazers. And then there's my dear friend Marilyn Rhea, who in her 90s still attends games at the Moda Center. For me, this started when I was 8 years old. That's when the franchise began, and I went to a few games that season. How many people remember Jeff Petrie? He was the Rookie of the Year. We won 29 games that year. But I'll tell you, every time we won, it just felt like there was hope. And like in a few more years, we'll be so much better. So they gave me hope. And then you go fast forward to 1977, and it was my freshman year in high school at Roosevelt. And I said to my mom, it's my duty to go to the parade today. I must go to the championship parade. And my mom looked at me and said, this will be the one and only time I will allow you to skip school. And I'll never forget, being short has its advantages. I was able to scoot into the front of the line and touch all 5 starters. Let's name them. Oh, here I go. Bill Walton, Maurice Lucas, Bobby Gross, Dave Twardzik, and Lionel Hollins. And I just remember, like, I didn't want to wash my hand like a crazy little 14-year-old kid. So then I'll go to that big game. I don't know how many of you went to that one or watched it against Houston when we had trouble getting out of the first round of the playoffs. And Dame made that shot that was pretty far away. It wasn't just your usual three-point shot. And came close to falling off the edge of the seat I was at. But I'll never forget that moment. And bear with me, colleagues, this is a lot of fun. And so I think what I want to say is...
We have to adjourn by 6 p.m. tonight, Commissioner.
The game starts at 7.
Ouch. And
You're doing great, Commissioner Ryan.
This
Please
is called
continue.
love, okay?
My name is Bennett, I ain't in it.
Yeah. So the fact is, being a fan allows you to be like crazy in public. And that's one reason we like it. Like after that three-point shot, if you took a picture of any of us at that game, even you, Commissioner Hardesty, if you were there, you would have, it's like everyone looked nuts. It's like the reason it's called fan, it's you're a fanatic. And I can't think of a better time for Portland to lean in to hope, to lean into the building that this team has to endure this year, because it's going to be a long season. It kicks off tonight in Sacramento. But like our city, we need to have hope that the Blazers are going to keep getting better. We need to keep building along with the city. And we know that they will come back. And I pray that I will once again be able to go down to that championship parade someday before I am gone. And so I just want to say that I'm looking forward to this season. It's October. It's the best season of the month for any sports fan. And I hope that all of you take pride in the marathon season that begins tonight, that you show your love for the Trailblazers. We really need them to be a part of the Portland story today and going forward. And so They will stay in Portland. They will remain a big part of our city if we keep loving on them. Thank you for allowing me to take over the dais and celebrate the kickoff of the NBA season and our loved Portland Trailblazers. I will stop.
Here, and thank you, Commissioner Ryan, who is undoubtedly the greatest Trailblazer fan in the city of Portland. Thank you for your passion. Commissioner Maps.
Thank you. I want to start out by thanking Commissioner Ryan for bringing this item forward. We probably need this now more than ever. I want to start out today by saying, colleagues, I am delighted to join you in declaring October 19th, 2022 to be Portland Trailblazers Day. Now, the Portland Trailblazer franchise was founded in 1970. Since then, the Trailblazers have advanced to the NBA Finals on 3 occasions. The first time the Blazers made it to the NBA Finals was in 1977. 1977 was also the first time the Portland Trailblazers won an NBA championship. Of course, that team was led by the NBA legend, Bill Walton. I suspect that most of you, with Commissioner Ryan being the exception, do not remember Bill Walton's Trailblazers or the NBA championship victory of 1977, which is a shame. The outpouring of civic joy sparked by that win was transformative for this city. I would argue that the championship was the moment when Portland fell in love with the Trailblazers, and that love has burned bright ever since. For example, between 1977 and 1995, the Trailblazers sold out 814 straight home games, which for a long time was the longest streak of sellout games in American major professional sports history. Of course, the Trailblazers also made it back to the finals in 1990 and 1992. I remember the early 90s Trailblazers quite well. Those teams not only entertained me, those teams also helped make me into the man I am today. The core of those teams were Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Jerome Kersey, Buck Williams, Kevin Duckworth. I love those guys, and I still do. Of course, the 1990s were also the Michael Jordan era, but like the rest of Portland, I danced to a different tune. When the rest of the world wanted to be like Mike, I wanted to be like Clyde Drexler, and I still do. 32 years later, I still want to be like Clyde. And 32 years later, I have the great privilege to call Terry Porter my friend. And let me tell you something about my friend Terry Porter. To this day, Terry loves Portland as much as you love the Trailblazers. In fact, just a couple of days ago, Mr. Porter hosted the Candidates Gone Wild event at Revolution Hall. The purpose of that event was to bring together political candidates and the people of Portland to celebrate the things we all love about Portland, even as we engage in some intense debates about the future of the city, which we all love. Friends, that Candidates Gone Wild event was what democracy looks like here in Portland, and Terry Porter helped make that event happen. Terry Porter is helping keep our democracy strong, and that's why I want to take this moment to thank Terry Porter for his service to our city. And 32 years later, after those great teams of the early 1990s, it is hard to believe that Jerome Kersey and Kevin Duckworth have passed. To this day, I cannot jog past the Kevin Duckworth dock on the East Bank Esplanade without thinking of that gentle giant who loved fishing and loved Portland. And of course, since the 1990s, there have been many other great Blazer teams, but no team has been greater than the Trailblazers we have today. Now, I was incredibly lucky to have grown up with trailblazing role models like Bill Walton and Clyde Drexler, but I'm even luckier to be raising my 12-year-old son who plays basketball and has role models like Damian Lillard. It brings me great joy and great comfort to be a dad of a boy who aspires to be like Damien. For me and for many Portlanders, the Trailblazers are more than a basketball team. The Trailblazers are a family tradition, and the Trailblazers are part of Portland's civic tradition. Colleagues, for these reasons and more, I'm proud to join you in proclaiming October 19th, 2022 to be Portland Trailblazer Day. And I encourage all Portlanders to celebrate this day by watching the Trailblazers opener tonight against Sacramento at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Commissioner Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for bringing this proclamation forward. I know how dear and important this is to you, knowing you for so many years. I, too, have wonderful memories about my family, and I crowded around the TV while I was growing up, rooting for the Blazers. It was the one thing that we could all agree on to watch on the TV, and the one TV in our house. We all love and watching and supporting the Blazers, but I also want to acknowledge an important aspect of the Blazers that's a little different, that's not very talked about, and that's about their commitment to the community, which I was able to see in person just in August as we celebrated the newly restored basketball court at McCoy Park. I also had the opportunity to work very closely with the Blazers during my entire time as executive director of a nonprofit Latino network, and our partnership with them made a huge difference in our youth services programs. So I appreciate that as a community-forward organization. They really walk their talk. And they've made countless partnerships with organizations making a difference in the lives of youth in vulnerable communities. So I also just want to give a appreciation to Krista Stout, who's the Senior Vice President for the Blazers, who for believing in these community partnerships and who really moves this ball forward for us. So thank you to Blazers for being our team. Thank you for, like Portland, for standing back up and doing your very best for our RIP city. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Rubio. Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for bringing this. I mean, we couldn't have stopped you from bringing this resolution if we tried. Thank you so much for bringing it here. Let me just talk. I was going to go where Commissioner Rubio went. When I moved here, January 1st, 1990, I was a big-time Chicago Bulls fan. Yeah, don't hate. I was, okay? Because, of course, we had the greatest basketball player ever, Michael Jordan, playing at that time. But here's my early memories of the Blazers. My very first job here was with the Black United Fund of Oregon. And just like the Latino Network, I met incredible gentlemen who happened to play for the Trailblazers, who were really embedded in community. And I had the privilege of working with a couple of those superstars to do public service announcements for the nonprofit that I was running at that time, which was the Black United Fund of Oregon. Just a couple of nights ago, being able to be in the same space with Terry Porter again brought me so much joy, because it was like, for me, it was like I was 35 years younger in that moment. And I looked at him and went, "Mr. Porter, can I get a picture with you, please?" And he said yes. And I told him that when I moved here, you didn't think of the Trailblazers just as basketball players. What you thought of them as respected gentlemen who added value to our community. And there have been times we could say that with pride, and there have been times that we have not been able to say that publicly. But I'm very happy to say that we're back to a team of gentlemen who are vested in this community. And I'm not, I'm not a big basketball fan anymore. I do like to watch the very healthy men run up and down the court. I won't lie. But I will always remember the fact that when people make Portland their home and they invest in the most vulnerable people here, they are all heroes and sheroes to me. And so that is my tribute to the Trailblazers. I am very grateful that from your beginning, it was more than just about playing basketball, was about helping young people become good humans and good community members. So I appreciate you, and we'll continue to appreciate you and support you. And I got a great picture with Terry Porter. Yeah. Okay, Mayor, back to you.
Thank you. Did you have another comment? No. Okay, very good. Well, first of all, let me just, well, actually, I love any opportunity I have to wear a T-shirt to city council meetings. Yeah, and I don't usually wear red. I'm told red's not really my color, but I love it today. So let me just add my thanks and congratulations to the Portland Trailblazers, and the best of luck tonight. They will win. I happen to know this for a fact because they're just the better team. Sports in Portland, in many ways, reflects our city. The Trailblazers, in essence, reminds me a lot of our city. There are winning seasons, there are winning plays, there are winning games, and there's times where, as Commissioner Ryan said, they break our hearts. And that reminds me a little bit of the positions we all hold here. Sports plays a very important part in the culture of this city. And what's unique about the Trailblazers, I think, is that the Trailblazers is absolutely linked. It's entwined with the heart and soul, with the DNA of this city. And it's been proven over and over and over again. This team works incredibly well here in Portland. There's a magic about it. And there's a personal relationship all of us have in this city with the team. Our relationships are all different. The way we interact with the Trailblazers is all fundamentally different. But even people who don't necessarily appreciate professional sports in and of itself still see the Trailblazers and the leadership and the passion and the commitment they show for our community and the people in this community, the love that they express for the people in this community. And I want to acknowledge them and appreciate that element. They're winners as far as I'm concerned. And yes, Commissioner Mapps, I am old enough absolutely to remember the 1977 season. And I do look forward to seeing another season like that. I feel like we're darn close. I feel like we're building up to it. And as often is the case in the city of Portland, sometimes it just takes a little longer for us to get there. But oh, how sweet it's going to be when we do, and we will. And so with that, I have the honor of reading a proclamation on behalf of the City Council. I want to thank Commissioner Ryan in particular for bringing this forward. He truly is passionate about the Trailblazers. And if you've got, 4 or 5 hours, ask him what his favorite moments are about the Trailblazers, and he'll more than happily regale you with his stories. But he really is passionate about it, and I appreciate, Commissioner Ryan, you bringing that passion here and sharing it with us. This is fun, and we should do this more often to really acknowledge that there's so many good things happening in our community that the public really appreciates, and the Trailblazers has to be close to, if not at the top of that list. I also want to acknowledge your staffer, Darian Jones, for working with us to draft the proclamation. Where is Darian? Right there, right here in the second row. Thank you, Darian, for your hard work on this. Now it's my honor to read it on behalf of the entire Portland City Council. Whereas the City of Portland is honored to champion Portlanders' love of Rip City and celebrate the 52nd season for our men's professional basketball team, the Portland Trailblazers. And whereas the Trailblazers joined the National Basketball Association in 1970 as an expansion team secured by founder Harry Glickman and were led by coach Roland Todd, AKA Mod Todd. And whereas Portland's beloved moniker, Rip City, was coined by the legendary Bill Schonely, the voice of the Portland Trailblazers from 1970 to 1998, during an electrifying moment at a Trailblazers game against the Los Angeles Lakers on February 18th, 1971. And whereas the Portland Trailblazers won the 1977 NBA championship and 3 conference titles in 1977, 1990, and 1992. And whereas the Trailblazers have had an incredible history with former players such as LaMarcus Aldridge, Clyde Drexler, Jerome Kersey, Jeff Petrie, Terry Porter, Cliff Robinson, Arvidas Sabonis, and Bill Walton, just to name a few of the greats. And whereas Paul Allen, owner of the Trailblazers for 30 years, passed away 3 days before the start of the 2018 season, but joined the team in Rip City in spirit. And whereas Chauncey Billups honorably leads the Trailblazers as head coach alongside his incredible coaching staff. Whereas point guard Damian Lillard, with an average of 24.6 points per game, has been named an All-Star 6 times in his career and received a gold medal on the 2020 U.S. Olympic team in Tokyo, and was honored as one of the league's greatest basketball players of all time by the NBA 75th anniversary team. And whereas the City of Portland commends the Trailblazers for the organization's dedication to positively impacting the community of Rip City through the work of the Trailblazers Foundation, advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and environmental stewardship. And whereas the Trailblazers, Blevins, Brown, Dunn, Eubanks, Grant, Hart, Hughes, Johnson, Lillard, Little, Nurkic, Payton, Perry, Simmons, Watford, Williams, and Winslow we are all immensely grateful and proud for your work and your commitment to the City of Portland. Now, therefore, I, Ted Wheeler, Mayor of the City of Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses, and Rip City, do hereby proclaim October 19th, 2022 to be Portland Trailblazers Day in Portland, and encourage all residents to observe this day and tune into the first home game of the season this Friday against the Phoenix Suns. Thank you all for your great work. There's a first for everything. There is a first for everything, and you saw it here first. That's the important thing. All right, well, as Commissioner Fritz used to say, now for something completely different. Item number 871, this is a non-emergency ordinance.
Amend Arts Education and Access Income Tax Code related to arts education coordination.
Commissioner Rubio. Oh, it is indeed. That makes it even more special. This is a second reading of a non-emergency ordinance. We've already heard a presentation and had opportunity for public testimony. Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank everyone who provided public testimony and those that have taken the time to talk with me. Also want to appreciate the AEAF and RAC board for their comments and also for the work ahead together. And then finally, thank you, Jeff Hawthorne and Stephen Herrera, for all their diligent work on this project. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Rubio, for bringing this item to our attention and focus. And I also want to thank the Portlanders who have testified before us about the importance of art in the city. I want to thank and uplift the school districts who have asked the city to build a stronger relationship with them to truly maximize access and equity of arts programming in our schools. I'm a strong believer in the leadership that you're providing here, Commissioner Rubio, and I want to thank you and your staff for following through on your commitments to students and to taxpayers. The decision before us today is important. After 10 years, Portlanders have invested $111 million into this arts tax, and we are still unclear sometimes about the impact on its students. I have failed to see any compelling data about the impact. I recognize that this is just one piece of our work at the city, and I'm looking forward to supporting the city's cultural planning process that Commissioner Rubio will lead to incorporate the community on the future of arts funding in Portland. I'm really excited about today. I vote aye.
Hardesty.
I want to thank Commissioner Rubio for her very thoughtful leadership as it relates to the changes we're making in this ordinance. I also want to thank Stephen, who was great to see him testify at council for the very first time last week. I also want to thank all the community members who showed up to provide testimony because it is critical that these funds, quite frankly, that are raised by poor people a lot because of how it's actually structured, really do benefit our kids of color in the school system. One day we'll talk about changing that formula so that we're not overburdening poor people with the arts tax. But trust me, we're not in a political space to have that conversation yet. But having said that, I think this is a good move in the right direction, and I am absolutely 100% supportive of Commissioner Rubio's vision for moving forward. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Thank you. Well done. This was a complex issue. It's a little meatier than some people would like. It's not nearly as fun as the Trailblazers proclamation, but it is very important to the future of arts education in our community. And I want to thank Commissioner Rubio for leaning into this, getting into the middle of it. It could have been easy not to do that, and it probably would have been more politically expedient not to do that, but she has done the right thing here, and she has shown bold leadership, and I strongly support it. I vote aye, and the ordinance is adopted. Thank you. Next item, item number 872. This is an emergency ordinance.
Authorized contract with ELS Architecture and Urban Design, Inc. to provide site selection, programming, schematic design, and land use permitting services for the North Portland Aquatic Center, not to exceed $2,304,630.
Commissioner Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor. The vision for an indoor aquatic center serving North Portland has been anticipated by the community since the completion of Parks' 2020 vision planning effort in 1999. This ordinance for the authorization of the contract with ELS Architecture and Urban Design, Inc. will begin the site selection, programming, schematic design, and land use approval process for this much-needed indoor aquatic facility in North Portland. The ordinance also includes the City Council amendment to Portland Parks and Recreation's SDC funding list to include this project. The North Portland's diverse and growing population does not currently have a pool they can use. That is approximately 70,000 people, including roughly 18,000 people of color and roughly 11,000 experiencing poverty without a place to learn to swim, do water aerobics, or exercise. The design process for a full-service aquatic center offers a great opportunity for Portland Parks and Recreation to partner with the diverse communities in North Portland and to create a vital community asset for teaching the life-saving skills of learning to swim. Access to water safety skills and learn to swim classes is a racial equity issue. Black children in the United States drown at a rate 3 times higher than white children. Many factors contribute to this unacceptable public health outcome, including the accessibility of swim lessons. In addition with the execution of this contract, Portland Parks and Recreation hopes to provide greater recreation access and opportunities for users of all ages, serving the health and well-being of North Portlanders across generations. Portland Parks and Rec has conducted significant outreach and engagement with the community members this past year to generate excitement for this project and to let the public know that the project was coming. And as the project starts up this fall, the project efforts will include 5 community gathering events, ongoing focus groups, stakeholder interviews, and our project advisory committee to make sure the project is representative of community desires. Community engagement for this project will ensure that our outreach efforts advance Portland's racial equity goals and the Portland Parks and Rec Racial Equity Plan, reflect and serve Portland's diverse and changing communities, build relationships and strengthen partnerships, and facilitate collaboration, and promotes connections to support for our park system. And Parks has also selected a diverse project advisory committee to help guide them on the community needs. The total funding to date on this important project includes the $11.7 million of SDC funding that I allocated back in April 2021. I've also allocated an additional $5 million in SDC funds to bring the city funding amount to a total of $16.7 million to advance this project. With the support of the State Lottery Fund and the upcoming State of Oregon Department of Administrative Service grant agreement for $15 million, our project funding total is $31.7 million for the project development. That means that this project, currently the largest in Parks' portfolio, has a potential funding gap of $18.3 million that will have to work to close in the coming years. The project will start immediately after the passing of this emergency ordinance, and the immediate focus will be site selection, design, and land use requirements. Those efforts will span from October 2022 to December 2023. After that, construction and the site permitting process will begin. And finally, Park estimates that construction will be complete in 2029. With Columbia Pool's closure and the time needed to develop a new aquatic center, Portland Parks and Recreation has a gap in our services to provide indoor aquatic programming, which includes vital swim lessons for the public. With our lack of sustainable funding for capital maintenance and expansion, the Parks Bureau is in a tough situation of not having a funded pool that is open to provide continuous services. I recognize this is far from an ideal scenario, as we are faced with a lack of available aquatics programming for community members in North Portland. So to help bridge that gap in service during the design and construction of the new aquatic center, this council also allocated an additional $1.5 million in general fund that was allocated in fiscal year 22 for interim support services or service support for the community of North Portland. So going forward to do that, Portland Parks and Recreation will provide free access to North Portland residents to Matt Dishman Community Center, target resources to increase recruitment for aquatic staff positions to expand hours, provide free summer swim lessons to North Portland residents at Peninsula and Pier pools, and provide transportation support through TriMet to participants. Portland Parks and Rec staff are working through the process to roll out these support measures, and Portland Parks will regularly update community members on these interim service options. So I'll now turn it over to Robin Johnson-Craig to provide some more information.
Thank you. Council Clerk, I believe you're going to share the presentation for me. Thank you so much.
Hey, Megan, we're seeing your screen.
Thank you so much. I have to admit, it's a hard act to follow the proclamation for Portland Trailblazer Day, but I'll try my best because this is a pretty exciting project too. But it's fortuitous that and somewhat coincidence that I am also the project manager for the Portland Trailblazer and Nike sponsorship agreement. And so I've had the honor and opportunity to support Nike Trailblazers in the city of Portland in resurfacing our wonderful PPNR basketball courts. And like Commissioner Rubio said, the back to school Nike Trailblazers event at McCoy Park was probably one of the most amazing events I've attended in my career here. So I just want to thank Trailblazers for their ongoing support and amazing generous donation and love for PPNR and the spirit of supporting youth in basketball. So thank you, Trailblazers, and congratulations on this great proclamation. So I will move forward with another exciting project. Hello and thank you. And I'm going to move my screen over. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council Commissioners, for the opportunity to present today. My name is Robin Johnson-Craig, and I am the PPNR Capital Project Manager for the new North Portland Aquatic Center for Portland Parks and Recreation. We can go to the next slide. Portland Parks and Recreation is very excited to kick off the North Portland Aquatic Center. This is an incredible opportunity to provide full aquatic programming to North Portland that has been long overdue. We are asking City Council to authorize a contract with ELS Architecture and Urban Design, Inc. to provide site selection, programming, schematic design, and land use permitting services for the North Portland Aquatic Center at a total not to exceed amount of $2,304,630. This ordinance will amend ordinance number 187770, approved by council on May 25th, 2016, to add the North Portland Aquatic Center project to the Portland PPNR SDC CIP list. We can go to next slide, please. The new Aquatic Center will be, of course, located in North Portland and will potentially serve residents crossing 11 Portland neighborhood associations, including Arbor Lodge, Bridgeton, Cathedral Park, East Columbia, Hayden Island, Kenton, Overlook, Piedmont, Portsmouth, St. John's, and University Park. Next slide, please. The park's 2020 vision plan in 2001 set a level of service goal for full service community centers to develop a full service community center that is a center with a pool, arts facilities, classrooms, and active recreation facilities.
Excuse me,
within
Mayor.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me, Robin. Could you go back to the picture, please? Can you tell me where the pool will be located? Do we have a site?
That's a really good question. We do not have a site. We do not have a master plan that shows the site, and that will be part of the contract. The site selection and programming for the facility is to determine the best site to serve North Portland and the city of Portland for the next 100 years.
Thank you.
Great. Sorry, I couldn't see your hand up, but yes, please interrupt if you have a question. So the vision plan is what provides Portland Parks with our level of service for full service community centers. That is a center with a pool, arts facilities, classrooms, and active recreation facilities within 3 miles of every resident. Full service community centers provide health and recreation benefits to residents of all ages. Of all ages, helping to make Portland a family-friendly and livable city. We can go to next slide. Level of service is a metric used by parks providers to measure how well a community is currently served with access to a variety of assets and to identify areas where additional assets should be added to provide a uniform set of experiences for all households and achieve greater equity. PPNR currently has 4 full-service community centers, including East Portland, Matt Dishman, Mount Scott, and Southwest Community Center. Charles Jordan Community Center is not considered to be a full-service community center as it lacks indoor aquatics programming. Currently, 70.6% of the city and its residents are served by the 3-mile full-service community center service metric. Next slide, please. In April of 2021, Commissioner Rubio allocated $11.7 million in SDCs to address the level of service gap for full-service community center service in North Portland, to cover the initial project design, permitting, and public engagement efforts for a new indoor aquatic center. The new aquatic center will serve approximately 22,000 dwelling units not currently served by the PPNR's level of service metric for full service community centers, as shaded in orange on the map. The areas in blue are existing full service community centers, including, as I mentioned, Matt Dishman, Mount Scott, Southwest Community Center, and East Portland Community Center. Next slide, please. As Commissioner Rubio mentioned, North Portland's diverse and growing population does not currently have a pool that they can use. That is approximately 70,000 people, including roughly 18,000 people of color and roughly 11,000 people experiencing poverty, without a place to learn to swim or to do water aerobics or exercise. With this proposal to initiate the North Portland Aquatic Center design contract, PPNR hopes to provide access and opportunities for young children and communities from diverse backgrounds to learn basic water skills and to explore additional opportunities offered through an established aquatics community center. Access to these life skills is a racial equity issue, as Commissioner Rubio mentioned. Black children in the United States drown at a rate 3 times higher than white children. Next slide, please. At this time, we have roughly projected the schedule, and we anticipate being able to refine the schedule as we move through the project phases. Time is of the essence. Given the additional site selection and programming phase, the complexity of this project and scale, we are forecasting a 7 years for project duration. This includes a multi-phase approach, including phase 2 for site selection, programming, schematic design, and land use permitting, phase 3 for design development, construction documents, and the site development permit, and phase 4 for construction. Construction completion is targeted for 2029. Next slide, please. This graphic schedule illustrates a finer level of detail on the anticipated schedule for the Phase 2 efforts for site determination, programming, schematic design, and land use permitting. We actually started the Phase 1 efforts developing the internal work plan, communications plan, and community engagement plan this past year. And we kicked off the community engagement with the community gathering event held on April 23rd at the Charles Jordan Community Center. We continue with engagement activities this past summer and are excited to get people involved and engaged on this upcoming project. We are really excited to have the design team on board for this fall for the development of the technical investigation and to kick off the site selection and programming process. Once a site and a program are determined, roughly by the end of next spring, summer, we will begin schematic design with the intent of securing a land use permit by the end of 2023. Next slide. Preliminary estimates in 2018 estimated a cost range of 36 to 48.5 million. With the cost escalation that we've seen on our capital projects, we have preliminarily estimated 50 million for this project, as we do not have a confirmed site or a confirmed program for this facility. We currently have 16.7 million in SDCs allocated by Commissioner Rubio and an amazing $15 million grant from the State of Oregon Lottery Fund secured this past spring with the leadership of State Representative Travis Nelson and State Representative Maxine Dexter. This equals 31.7 million in funds currently allocated to the project development, and we're going to have a potential funding gap of 18.3 million to fund this facility.
Commissioner Hardesty has a question. Okay, continue, sir.
Okay. Next, please. The lottery funds will be distributed via a grant agreement from the State of Oregon Department of Administrative Services, or DAS. I will be returning to City Council in early December 2022 for City Council authorization to accept the DAS agreement for the 15 million. The funding gap is something that we will address. The Commissioner Rubio and PP&R will be working to advance options that you could consider to fill the funding gap for this project. Potential funding gap options to consider include a voter-approved ballot measure to provide critical capital funding for the Aquatic Center and potentially other critical capital needs within Portland's parks. Requesting additional future city general fund allocations, for example, funding from capital set aside, a capital campaign to solicit private donations, or utilization of future Portland Parks and Recreation revenues. Next slide, please. This is an overview of the number of community engagement efforts that PP&R over this past summer completed to generate excitement for this project. We had 30 plus stakeholder interviews between April and July. We had 4 different summer free-for-all, free lunch and play site visits. We've had 6 separate community events, including Let's Talk About the Future of North Portland at CJCC, a town hall event at Roosevelt High School. We participated in Good in the Hood at King School Park. We participated in the Black Swimming Initiative event at Pier Park, the Big Float, and East Portland Summer Arts Festival. We've had 2 community survey efforts, and we have a pretty incredible and diverse project advisory committee. We actually had a total of 92 applicants for our project advisory recruitment, a number never seen in previous PP&R projects. And we have a final project advisory committee roster of 18 individuals set and confirmed to support the project process to ensure the project is representative of community needs. We launched the website earlier this year, and we will have regular website updates to share project news. And we have 795 individuals that have opted in into our email list. Next slide, please. We will continue this robust community engagement effort over the course of the project with a number of outreach and communication approaches, including our community gatherings, focus groups, with our project advisory committee, additional stakeholder interviews, and of course, our webpage updates and emailers. We can go next slide, please. Our request for proposal for design services was advertised under RFP 00001867, and 3 responsive proposals were received. The highly qualified design team led by ELS Architecture and Urban Design was selected by an evaluation committee led by procurement. No protests were submitted after the notice of intent to award. ELS is award-winning architectural practice with a 50-year tradition in design for the public realm. A recipient of the prestigious AIA California Council Award, ELS has been included in the Architect 50 for 5 consecutive years and in Architectural Records 2021 Top 300 Architecture Firms. ELS specializes in a diverse array of project types, including community center, recreation, fitness, aquatics, and wellness facilities. They have designed over 100 aquatics and community centers. Yes, they also provide historic renovation, adaptive reuse, cultural and entertainment venues, retail, mixed use, and urban design. They are a California certified green business and a participant of the AIA's 2030 commitment to reduce the operational energy use of our buildings. They are committed to sustainable design solution and respect their environment and social context to achieve architectural and technical excellence and create places that celebrate and enhance the experience of urban life. ELS is the very first organization in California to be named a JUST 2.0 organization by the International Living Future Institute. The JUST label represents their commitment to social equity, transparency, and diversity in practice. The co-bid percentages participation for this contract is 31.1% for all tiers of subconsultants. Co-bid percentage for the first tier firms is 28.6%. Next slide, please. We request from City Council the approval to authorize a contract with ELS Architecture and Urban Design, Inc. to provide site selection, programming, schematic design, and land use permitting services for the North Portland Aquatic Center at a total to not exceed amount of $2,304,630.35. This ordinance will amend ordinance number 187770, approved by council on May 25th, 2016, to add the North Portland Aquatic Center project to the Portland Parks and Recreation STC CIP list. Next slide, please. I want to thank you for the opportunity to present this ordinance for this really exciting project and to expedite the project delivery for a new North Portland Aquatic Center. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Colleagues, any questions at this point?
Can I also say one thing before we go into
Yeah,
questions?
Commissioner Rubio.
I want to thank Robin for the presentation, but also I will need to make a motion to amend finding 6 to update the aspirational participation goal. We had a miscalculation, the utilization to 28.6%, which Robin mentioned. It's listed there in the document as 31.1. We were under the impression that tier 2 and tier 3 subcontract participation would count, but they have to be separate. So that's
You know, since we all noticed that, I will second it. Any further discussion on this horrific math discrepancy? Seeing none, please call the roll on the amendment.
Maps.
Aye.
Rubio.
Aye.
Ryan.
Aye.
Hardesty.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. The amendment is on the table. I had one question while I've got the floor here. On that list of potential strategies to fill the funding gap, is naming rights? Somebody help me with naming. It is naming rights, singular. Is naming rights on the table?
I don't know, are you asking me?
Yeah, I
You're
am,
asking
because
the council.
I can see this as actually being a very popular institution in the community, and you did a great job of articulating the need. This is something people have wanted for a long time, and I can't help but notice that in those cities, they will sell the naming rights, if I can be so bold, in exchange for a sizable contribution to the capital campaign. Is that on the table here?
I would assume that PPNR and Commissioner Rubio would be open to any type and all types of funding measures, including a sponsorship agreement and a sponsorship of this facility, which will be, it will be an amazing new facility for the city and for all its residents.
Great, and I recognize we're a long way from having the conversation about the specifics of the funding gap, but I hope that we don't just automatically discount that as a possibility.
Yeah, I just want to affirm that we haven't had a conversation. We're not there yet, but I will wholeheartedly say yes, that we are open to that.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. So if anyone's interested, let us know.
Yeah, great. Thank you. The
Thank you
Julian
so much.
Shoney Aquatic Center is it's available. There it is. Commissioner Hardesty has a question.
Thank you so much. And yes, Robin, excellent presentation. Thank you so much, Commissioner Rubio. I know North Portlanders have been chomping at the bit for this aquatic center for quite some time. And you know, I always like to underpromise and overdeliver. And when I look at a proposal that has such a significant funding gap, doesn't yet know where it's going to be built, you know, it just kind of, it's one of those kind of projects that if it was in my portfolio, would keep me up at night, right? Because of the community desire to have this fabulous facility. And like the mayor said, I mean, I hope that we think about this really differently. You know, I have not been impressed at how the city can be innovative in a whole lot of ways. And so as I think about this, I think there may be a lot of opportunities. Will this be the greenest aquatic center on the planet, right? Will this be one that actually uses renewable material and energy efficient everything? You know, please, let's think really, really big and innovative, because remember, we're going to use this aquatic center for the next 100 years. And so I just want to encourage you to think visionary, think big, bold, and don't think about the resources we have today, but think about what we're building for the future. And like the mayor said, you know, we got the Motor Center, not because healthcare was part of where the Blazers played, right? But because somebody thought it was important to have their name on that facility, right? And so that's my encouragement. I'm excited, but I'm also terrified, because we promised North Portland residents improvements over and over and over again, and we failed miserably, right? So, so I'm excited and terrified all at the same time. But I'm really clear. I believe in Commissioner Rubio and her vision. So I look forward to working with you to make this a reality. When I look at something breaking ground in 2027, it almost gives me hives. But because I've been transportation commissioner, I know nothing good happens quickly at the city. So we have to actually take the time to build the momentum and have the right financial partners, right? We get played a lot, but I'm looking forward to this being a model of community, government, and private sector partnerships. Everyone I see so far, unfortunately, ends up the beneficiaries, and the public ends up paying the bill. So this will be different. I look forward to the outcome and staying involved and helping us get the best outcome possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Mapps.
Thank you. I suspect we have public testimony on this, so I'll keep my comments short. First, I want to thank Commissioner Rubio for her leadership on this issue. I can recall a couple of years ago, my neighborhood pool, the Buckman pool, in the basement of Buckman Elementary School closed, and that really had a negative impact on the quality of life for kids and families in around that school, and frankly, we've never quite recovered from that. So I appreciate the recreational opportunities for this. I also, kind of underscoring a theme that Commissioner Hardesty brought up, I do encourage us to think outside the box as we think about this project. I think of this pool as not only being about recreational opportunities, I also think of it as being part of our strategies to make the city more resilient to climate change. And I think that's something which should be front of mind as we think about bringing this online. We know our summers are going to get hotter, and we need a place for our kids to be able to recreate. So thank you.
Keelan, do we have public testimony on this item?
We had one person sign up, Edith Gillis, but I don't believe she's joined.
All right, very good. Very good. Any further discussion? Commissioner Ryan?
I think it's a clarification. Commissioner Rubio and I have had conversations about this, but for the record, one of the big issues, I don't think anyone's not excited about this future. And Robin, that was a very good presentation. Thank you. And also very masterful about the transition from the Blazer proclamation to your item. It's the people that live in my neighborhood that loved taking water aerobics, for example, at the Columbia pool, and they just want to be assured that there's access to Dishman, because for a lot of them, that's a long ways away. And I know that you've allocated a line item expenditure to do just that. I just want, for the record, to hear about that type of services, and it could also be something that we hear more about soon. But that's what I'm hearing from constituents, is that issue. It's the gap in between that being shut down and then this amazing aquatic center opening up.
Yeah, so I don't have the staff here to speak specifically to that, and we can follow up with your, actually, we'll follow up with everyone just to give you a clear briefing about what those steps are. We are operationalizing those initial funds, but I have to be clear, they're probably initial because this is going to span several years, whatever is happening. So we're doing everything we can to ensure that we have capacity to meet the needs. And I personally am very invested in ensuring transportation, particularly to the elders in the community who very much love, water aerobics, and that's community for them. My grandmother was one of them, and so. Not in Columbia, in Hillsborough, but still, I know the importance of that and building community and health. So those things are very much at the top of our list to ensure that we're doing everything we can. Staffing remains a challenge, so we're doing everything we can on multiple fronts to ensure that we shore up our aquatic staff so that we can have the capacity to expand some of that service. But that is front and center for us. And again, I will say, as this continues forward, we may need to come back to council to keep those strategies front and center through the duration of any project that comes forward, for sure.
Very good. Did you have another question?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say to Commissioner Rubio, I look forward to joining you on those meetings to ask for those sponsorship opportunities, right? I think it could be fun.
Agreed. And I also just want to, before we vote, I just want to really, really acknowledge the tremendous, the long amount of time that North Portlanders have been waiting for this. This was an issue well before I came onto council, and it's still here. And we're trying as hard as we can to gain traction and finally move this project forward in the way that North Portlanders deserve. They deserve service. They deserve access. And so we're doing everything we can to ensure that that's happening as fast as we can. And fast has a different meaning sometimes in bureaucracy, I'm learning, which can be very frustrating. But please be assured that this is one of our top projects, and we're very excited for it. And I want to appreciate how long North Portlanders have been waiting. So we hear you, we feel you, and please know that we are really trying to move this forward as fast as we can.
Thank you, Commissioner. Please call the roll.
Maps.
I want to thank Commissioner Rubio for her leadership on this important project. Can't wait to see this thing built. I vote aye.
Rubio.
I want to thank Robin and the whole team at Parks. I also want to thank North Portland community for very much being front and center and reminding us with your hearts and your communities just how important it is to have equitable service in your community. And very excited for this project to step forward. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you, Commissioner Rubio, and thank you, Robin Johnson-Craig, for that presentation. We're all excited about this vision, and I appreciate the dialogue that the mayor put into the dais about naming rights. My industry experience in that is it's about 50%, so don't sell it for cheap. That's all I got to say. And I'm looking forward to seeing that through, because quite frankly, it's a little personal. That's what probably I'll be exercising in about 7 years, so I hope this really does move along. And Commissioner Rubio, I really appreciate the transparency and the dialogue about the gap right now, because it's so real. And I think coming out of COVID especially, it's mental health. People really want to connect again and experience that ritual, if you will, of those aerobics classes that I keep hearing about that means so much to them. So thank you for having the heart to make that a priority, and I vote aye.
Hardesty?
This is probably one of the biggest issues that came across my desk in January of 2019 when I had the privilege of being elected to this seat. And it is absolutely a joy for me to watch you, Commissioner Rubio, really navigate which is very treacherous territory in order to actually center the people in North Portland who have actually have not had access to quality recreation like other parts of the city has. It will take a while because it takes a while in the city of Portland, but I'm confident with your leadership, we're on the right track. And Robin Johnson Craig, I have to say that was a fabulous presentation, and I'm grateful for the hard work of Parks employees. I'm very happy to vote aye.
Wheeler?
I can't say enough positive things about this. Thank you, Commissioner Rubio. Thank you to Portland Parks and Recreation. Thank you to everybody who's helped vision this process. And I realize it's way too early to celebrate. We're really beginning a long-term strategy here, but this is a decisive step forward. It's also great. We're finally talking about a sport I understand, and it's one I'm truly passionate about. And swimming is unique in that the worse you are at it, the better it is for you. Because the better you get at it, the more efficient you become, meaning you're using less energy. So it's actually one of these great sports where if you really don't know what you're doing, it's a great way to exercise. It's also a low-impact sport. And you're seeing more older adults all across the United States, indeed around the world, taking up swimming as an alternative to other types of activities that are harder on your joints and harder on your body. And so it's a great way for us to be able to age in place, is to have access to this kind of recreation. And last but not least, this is a great recreational opportunity for people with disabilities. I think it's underappreciated as an activity that people with significant physical disabilities can participate in fully, provided the infrastructure is accommodating. And I have no question in my mind that as Portland Parks and Recreation visions this particular aquatics facility, will have that in mind, in addition to the other values that my fellow commissioners espoused earlier. And the reality is that it is very difficult for most people to gain access to an aquatics facility if it is not a public aquatics facility. And we've gone through a period in Portland's history where we've had a few notable successes around aquatics facilities in the other parts of the city. And as my colleagues have all pointed out, North Portland has waited a long, long time for their opportunity to have a world-class aquatics facility located in their immediate proximity. And that's very exciting to me. So it's a long way of just saying this for me is almost a feel-good opportunity, even though I acknowledge, Commissioner, that the fiscal aspects of this are going to be challenging going forward in the years ahead, but this is totally worthwhile, and we should absolutely see this to fruition. I vote aye. The ordinance is adopted. Thank you for your leadership on this. Next, we'll go to the 4/5 agenda, please. 872-1.
Direct Bureau of Transportation to implement a school zone speed reduction adjacent to Cleveland High School and work with Oregon Department of Transportation to evaluate the need for other safety improvements where students cross US 26 Southeast Powell Boulevard for school access.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor. Colleagues, I'd like to begin with a moment of silence for Sarah Pliner and all those who have died due to vehicle violence in the city of Portland. Thank you, Mayor and colleagues. Powell Boulevard is a state-owned highway and high crash corridor where 17 people have died in traffic crashes since 2017. On Tuesday, October 4th, students at Cleveland High School witnessed a terrible tragedy. Celebrated Portland chef Sarah Pliner was riding a bike when she was struck and killed by a vehicle on ODOT-owned Southeast Powell Boulevard at the intersection of Southeast 26th Avenue. This led to widespread community outcry and calls for safety improvements, including the jurisdictional transfer of Powell Boulevard from the state to the city of Portland. Every traffic fatality is one too many. This was a preventable death at an intersection that PBOT, alongside community, had previously advocated for substantial safety improvements to be made by ODOT, including enhancing a bike lane that was there. The situation led ODOT Director Chris Strickler to issue a statement on October 10th saying this road cannot and should not function as a traditional highway anymore. I'm happy to see this change of heart, and I want to hold ODOT to their word. I am hopeful we can work together as partners to make the streets safer, not just around Cleveland, but also around other Portland schools that are next to state highways. And I hope ODOT will work with PBOT, Oregon Department of Transportation, will work with Portland Bureau of Transportation to make Powell Boulevard safer for everyone. However, I want to be really clear. PBOT is not waiting for ODOT to take action. I'm hopeful my colleagues will join me in approving this resolution so we can start making the intersection at Southeast 26 and Powell safer starting tomorrow, with additional improvements throughout the year. For years, PBOT has advocated for more safety improvements through this and other state-owned high crash corridors. And this resolution calls for ODOT to partner with PBOT on those improvements. Now that we may have a willing partner in ODOT, the moment is right to not only implement changes to this specific intersection, but to be proactively thinking about how we can improve safety around all schools in the city of Portland. There's a lot to this resolution, but some of the top actions include establishing a school zone on Southeast 26th Avenue while asking ODOT to install school zones at all schools on state-owned highways in Portland. This ordinance would direct PBOT to pursue school zone installations at any street adjacent to a high school where the speed limit is higher than 20 miles per hour, whether it's a city or state-owned highway. This directs PBOT to propose additional safety improvements on other parts of Southeast 26th Avenue, Inner Powell, and other busy state-owned streets. This would direct PBOT to study the city's freight routes and street classifications that may be leading large trucks to use Southeast 26th Avenue instead of streets that are wider and more appropriate. And finally, it would direct PBOT to work with ODOT to develop a thorough cost estimate for the improvements needed to bring Powell up to city standards for safety and maintenance from Southeast 9th Avenue to I-205. Without an understanding of the true cost of transfer and a commitment to fund the full cost, a transfer will not make the road safer. With a realistic cost estimate and adequate funding, these improvements could lead to a transfer of Powell to city control using the recent transfer of 82nd Avenue as a model. I want to make sure the public knows that tomorrow, Thursday, October 20th, Oregon State Senator Kathleen Taylor and State Representative Rob Nose and Karen Power will be hosting a community forum focused on solutions for improving safety on Southeast Boulevard, specifically the intersection at Cleveland High School. The public forum will be at 6 p.m. tomorrow in the Cleveland High School auditorium. PBOT will be making additional announcements at the forum, and additional information about safety is expected from ODOT, TriMet, and Portland Public Schools. I look forward to this important discussion and will join the community in attendance. I want to say thank you to my colleagues for signing off on this item so that I could bring it in front of you today. And I want to say that we have PBOT staff here that are ready to answer any questions that mayor and council members may have. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Colleagues, any questions at this point? Commissioner Mapps.
Yeah, of course I support this, but I do have a couple of questions for staff.
If staff would just come up to the table, thank you, and introduce yourself when you speak.
Good morning. I'm Wendy Colley, PBOT City Traffic Engineer.
Hi, Wendy. Just a couple of questions. This has come together pretty quickly, and so I haven't had a chance to fully absorb all of it. Basically, I'm trying to figure out what this resolution does. So there's a PBOT piece to this, and there's an ODOT piece to this. I assume that PBOT stuff we can pretty much just implement on our own, and the things, the PBOT or the ODOT part are essentially requests/demands to the state highway agency. Is that roughly how this works?
That's correct. Yes.
So let's first, can you highlight for me the PBOT piece? What are the things that we definitely get out of this by virtue of passing this resolution today?
Yes. So the things on 26th Avenue that are adjacent to the school are under full PBOT jurisdiction. We can do those, and we will start doing those as early as tomorrow. We'll implement a 20-mile-per-hour school zone on 26th Avenue. And then we plan to implement green bike lanes and a bike box on 26th Avenue in both directions. That should come in the next few months, weather allowing. And then a longer-term project is to install a pedestrian crossing with a concrete island on 26th Avenue north of Powell, which is an east entrance to, the west entrance to Cleveland High School.
Got it. And how would you characterize the ask to ODOT, and what are we asking from ODOT? And are those ask or those kind of real buttons that we push and something happens?
I'm happy to step in and try to answer that. What we're asking for from ODOT, and you know, we share the road, right?
Yep.
So ODOT has some responsibilities for the road. The city has some. What we're asking is actually for PBOT to be able to make safety decisions for the people who live, work, and play in the city of Portland. Because right now, state law says that we can't change speed zones without ODOT's approval. So there are a lot of things that are actually in this package. But the first thing we're going to do is do some immediate safety improvements that actually ODOT had us take out. They were there before. ODOT did some maintenance, and all the bike lane, the bike lanes were taken out, right? So we're not going to wait for ODOT to actually come up with a plan. This is a plan that PBOT developed in-house with the resources we have to do what we know we can do, right? And we also know what we need to do is get ODOT to light a fire under their butt to make them actually invest some dollars in helping us with all these roads. This is just one of those roads that is ODOT owned. Yet they have failed to maintain them in a way that's safe for Portlanders.
Okay, I'm still, thank you for that clarification. I'm still a little foggy on our ask to ODOT.
ODOT?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back. I want you to have all you need.
Would you like me to?
Would you like to? Yeah, please.
Sure. Yeah, so the immediate ask is that we are requesting that ODOT also install a speed 20 school zone on Powell in front of Cleveland High School.
Okay.
And the ODOT requires that local jurisdictions make that request.
Oh,
to
okay.
install school zones. So that is first and foremost what we're doing. We're also asking for high visibility crosswalks at the crosswalk at 26th and also at 28th at the east, on the east side of the school, and other crosswalks throughout Powell, or along Powell, throughout the corridor. And then there are some signal requirements, signal upgrades that we will do jointly with ODOT, because we have an agreement that we do some of the signal things and ODOT does some of the other signal things. And those will allow us to make improvements like leading pedestrian intervals, so giving pedestrians a few seconds head start before autos get their green light. And so that's something jointly that we'll be working on.
Okay, great.
And if I could add just a couple more things to that, we want ODOT to actually study how freight routes through neighborhoods are really impacting traffic safety. We also want to make sure that there is a true cost of transferring jurisdiction from state ownership to the city of Portland. And again, 82nd is a model because we didn't take it until we had enough resources to actually bring it up to code. The state would love us to take all their abandoned roadways and just use city money to fix it, but we don't have that kind of money. What else? Oh, and it's the establishing a 20-mile-per-hour school zone around any middle school or high school. I mean, I was surprised to learn that only elementary schools and schools that dealt with kids who are in correction have school zones. I mean, who's the most distracted people on the planet? High school kids, right? But right? I mean, it's like, it shocked me that was not already state law. So, but ODOT has responsibility for that. And so we get to put a little pressure on ODOT to help make sure that our kids are safe regardless of what age they are going to school.
Okay, thank you very much. And it's as long as we're here, because I know lots of folks are curious about this, and I actually don't know the answer. Can we get an update on the status of negotiations around transferring Powell over to PBOT? So, for example, I know literally probably within the last month, this council has approved projects for both the Water Bureau and Environmental Services on further out on Powell, and it's my understanding that we were doing those kind of very not particularly interesting infrastructure improvements, partly to move that, upgrade the road so it eventually can get transferred to the city. So I get the impression work is actually being done to get us to this transfer point, but I actually don't know what the larger discussion and handoff looks like.
Yeah.
I would say work is being done to prioritize safety improvements. And again, we're a long way from transferring jurisdiction, but we want it to be just, we haven't even started that conversation yet, to be honest, because it has to come with significant resources for the upgrade. But because of this recent vehicle fatality, it's an opportunity for us to actually really push that conversation with ODOT.
Yeah, and I would just like to add that we are making some improvements east of I-205 and have had conversations with ODOT east of I-205, but I'm not prepared to answer where we're at in the full discussion of that and when that might exactly happen east of I-205.
Thank you, that's helpful.
I just want to share with Commissioner Hardesty that I too was very surprised that as a matter of course, we don't identify school zones and have reduced speeds around all of our schools. And I'm sorry I didn't notice that. I just assumed as a matter of course that that was the case. And that is probably going to come as a surprise to a lot of our state leaders as well. We should fix that. This should be part of our legislative discussion with the upcoming the upcoming legislative session.
Great. Yep.
Can I ask a question, a follow-up question on that?
Yeah, sure. Commissioner Mapps.
Is that a legislative thing or an administrative thing at the state?
It's probably a legislative thing. It's in the, it's ODOT's practice to not install speed zones around high schools, or they have a process to go through, but they did recently change a few years ago to allow local jurisdictions to do it. So we have most of our high schools now covered in the city of Portland, and through this action, we will get the last few remaining posted as speed 20.
Great.
Before I go to Commissioner Ryan, so what's involved in that? So we,
In changing this,
Yeah.
adding a school speed zone?
yeah,
For us, for the city of Portland, if it's a local street, then we can go out and post it as
and
soon
that's
as we're
really
able
all
to.
that's required, right? The
Yes.
signage?
That's right.
We should do that.
Yes, yes. we
Commissioner
plan
Ryan.
on doing
Oh,
that.
but it's
Commissioner
ODOT.
Hursti.
It's
Go ahead.
ODOT has to approve reducing the speed limit, right?
On state highways for school zones. That's
So we do not have the ability to unilaterally reduce those speeds or create a school zone on an ODOT-controlled right-of-way. Is that correct?
correct. We need to request ODOT to do that.
Okay.
We need to make a
And is there
written
any
request.
reason to believe they would not support having school zones or reduced speeds near all of our schools? I can't imagine what the argument against this is.
Right.
Well,
On
but-
on Powell, we believe that they will.
Let me just say that they made us take out the bike lanes that were there when they did their improvements. So again, I think there's a deeper conversation about who decides what's safe for people in the city of Portland. Does Salem do it or does PBOT do it based on their expertise? So I think there's a much deeper conversation that we need to have with our state legislators about how we make sure that ODOT just doesn't just check a box because they have the authority to do so.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Commissioner Ryan, thanks for your patience.
Sure. First of all, Commissioner Hardesty, thank you for bringing this forward and give us a chance to have a moment of silence for Sarah. That was really important. And it often is a tragedy that sometimes wakes us up on, are you kidding me? Like, this wasn't already a law like everyone is proclaiming around safety school zones for middle school and high school kids. And so it's easy to vote yes today for this action. It's, I think what we're getting at, all of us, is what are the next steps for the other schools? And we know that we talked about 82nd. There's actually an elementary school on 82nd, Vestal, and that gets overlooked too. And then we have high schools that are just one block off a really busy street, such as, or 2 blocks in this case. Roosevelt's on just off Lombard, Highway 30, and Franklin's 1 block off Division. And so I just hope that when you come back, we hear about the bigger picture story. And then I would ask that you're going to be coordinating with PPS on this situation. I know we keep hearing a lot about ODOT, but those that are closest to the action there are actually the people that work at those schools. So I look forward to hearing about the engagement with those school communities. And that support, I know, will also help do the right thing. So that's all. I just want to make a few comments on the record. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Hardesty, do you have another comment?
No, Mayor, that concludes our presentation.
Great, well done. Do we have any public testimony on this item?
We have 2 people signed up.
Good.
First up, we have Kathy Tuttle.
3 minutes, please. Name for the record, Kathy.
Hello?
Hi. Yep, we hear you.
Okay, thank you. Mayor and council members, good morning. My name is Kathy Tuttle, and I'm a member of Bike Loud PDX, and I'm speaking very much in favor of this resolution. I wanted to say too that I spent some time at Powell and 26th after that terrible tragedy, the death of Sarah Pliner, and noticed a lot of parents after they dropped off their kids walking with their strollers to the bus stops where they had, walked their kids to school and then were walking the strollers across Powell to get the bus to go home. So it's a place where people are walking and accessing through all kinds of ways. It's not just people who need to bike. It's like children need to walk to the park. People need to use the streets around schools. They're very active community places. I heard also Commissioner Ryan talking about state routes that were just 1 block away from some of the ODOT facilities. And I think that that's important too in the scope of what you're looking at. And I would suggest an amendment that instead of saying schools that are adjacent to ODOT properties, schools that are within 1 block of ODOT street should be safety zones. I think school safety zones could extend a block away because that's where people are walking to and from the bus. I think unless you say, actually give ODOT very strict parameters where we want to have Portland children safe, they're going to push and push and push back. So within a block makes sense to me. And then also, I think the scope could include talking about engineering safe streets. It's possible to engineer 20-mile-an-hour streets, but you need money to do that. There could be something about cameras on ODOT streets to pay for engineering improvements. The other kind of stricture that I would put in there as well is a time frame. I think a lot of these programs tend to take years and years, decades. Some parents get involved with trying to get safe routes to schools programs for their kids when they are in kindergarten and don't realize them until their children have graduated from high school. So put a 5-year limit. Say we want Portland schools to be safe for children, whatever grade they're in the next 5 years. Those would be my recommendations to slightly tweak the resolution that I believe is a wonderful resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for being here this morning.
Next up, we have David Binnick.
Hi, David.
Hello, thank you. I'm also a member of Bike Loud PDX, although I'm talking mostly as a parent today. I want to thank Commissioner Hardesty for making this proposal. I really appreciate your commitment on this after Sarah Pleiner's death. And I do hope that the city and state will be able to move quickly on all of those things, on lowering the speeds, on restoring the safety features that ODOT took out, on removing long trailers from that intersection, and ultimately on jurisdictional transfer. On the speed zones in particular, I wanted to say I have a daughter who's you can see here, she's 2 years old. And actually before she was born in 2019, I asked ODOT why there wasn't a speed zone on Powell north of Creston Elementary, which is where Ellie will probably attend. And they told me that there used to be a school zone there, which they removed. The Creston School is on the south end of the park, so it's not their problem. And that St. Ignatius, the Jesuit school there, has a fence along the side, so they don't consider it adjacent to the road. Which, yeah, the words that I would use to describe that logic, I'm not going to say in a city council meeting. But I also just since Sarah Pleiner's death, talking to another Portlander who asked ODOT also in 2019 why there wasn't a speed zone on Powell next to Cleveland School. And they told him that it wasn't necessary because high school students are vigilant. And that was in the email that he got from them. So, and as I think all of you know, a high school student was hit yesterday on Southeast Powell. I think not seriously injured, but by Cleveland High School. So yes, I support the proposal to implement school zones and 20-mile-per-hour speed limits next to Portland schools on ODOT highways, on city streets where they aren't already. I know that was a surprise to me too that we haven't already done that. And I know there was a young woman injured seriously last week on Killingsworth near around the corner at the corner of Jefferson High School. I would also suggest extending some of this. Earlier this month, Jason Alexander at PSU gave a presentation on speed limit reductions and found that lower speed limits help, but speed limits alone don't have a big impact on arterials. So if it's possible to move on camera enforcement, I would say that those school zones on arterials should absolutely be priorities for camera enforcement as we roll that out. And I would also suggest that the same limits, we should consider applying them to streets that border city parks as well. Because I do think it's just as important that kids and families can walk to their local playground as that they can get to school. So yes, school speed zones, camera enforcement, all the schools, all the parks. That would be what I would hope for. And again, thank you, Commissioner Hardesty, for your work on this.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
And that completes testimony.
That completes testimony. Any further discussion? This is a 4/5 agenda item. Please call the roll.
Maps.
I want to thank Commissioner Hardesty for taking leadership on this important issue. These are all changes that should be made. Unfortunately, for some, these changes come too late. For me, these changes cannot come soon enough. I have a child who, in less than a year, will begin going to school at Cleveland, and he will get himself to and from school on his bike. So I eagerly look forward to these changes. I would also say that, it's not just Cleveland, as has been pointed out in the presentation today. I really want to encourage PBOT to take a look at the safety infrastructure that we have around all of our schools, and I support PBOT's dialogue with ODOT around making sure that ODOT has adequate public safety infrastructure for their schools or for their roads that abut schools. For these reasons and more, I'm glad to vote aye.
Rubio.
I also want to thank Commissioner Hardesty for taking leadership on this very timely and long overdue issue, and for bringing this resolution forward. I agree with you that we need to act now to make these roads safer for our students and community. It's time PBOT and ODOT work together so that we can achieve our Vision Zero goals. And this is an important step in acknowledging all that have been impacted by traffic fatalities and injuries, and make it clear that we're committed to making our streets safer. I vote aye.
Ryan.
Thank you again, Commissioner Hardesty and PBOT staff for being so responsive to this emergency. And I think we all are a little humbled by all that we've learned today. And I'm looking forward to PBOT, ODOT, and Portland Public Schools figuring this out. And I think with the testimony, we might have another layer to this in the future. But today, this resolution is very easy to support. It's about time that we put safety of our kids well in front of ODOT's concerns. I vote aye.
Hardesty.
I want to thank Chris Warner for being an incredible leader who actually came to me with a solution rather than with many of the problems that we tend to get dropped in our lap. It has been a pleasure working with him to try to really think through what could we do now, and what do we need to actually plan for in the future. I will say this resolution today is not about throwing Chris Strickler under the bus, but it's about drawing a line in the sand about how we protect vulnerable people in the city of Portland. I have a strong relationship with Director Strickler. I don't anticipate this to be a confrontational conversation. He knows where our values lay in the city. I think what I look forward to is PBOT doing what we can do right now, but making sure that we have the state as a partner as we start doing the permanent changes that are necessary to ensure that all modes of transportation are safe for people when they are walking, rolling, or traveling in our community. I'm very happy to vote aye, and I want to thank each and every one of you colleagues for stepping up at this very critical time to allow me to be able to make this happen. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
Strongly support. I vote aye. The resolution is adopted. It is now 11:30. We will take a 10-minute recess, and we'll come back and take up the consent agenda items. We are in recess.
Commissioner Maps, I have no problem with this agenda item, but when there's $1 million overrun, I tend to like to have it on the public record so that the public understands why that is so. So can you answer why this?
Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
colleagues, I think we have staff here too, but
Don't need a presentation, I just need to answer why is it $1 million overrun?
yeah, let me tell you the story from where this ordinance comes from. You might remember last July, this council authorized the Bureau of Environmental Services to conduct emergency repairs at Northeast 33rd and Knott. And there, we were out there to fix a sinkhole and a broken pipe. Now, while we were making those repairs, Environmental Services discovered a second sinkhole, which also needed emergency repairs. Now, because the second sinkhole represented a threat to public safety and time was of the essence, I authorized repairs to the second sinkhole via the emergency procurement process. Those repairs were completed last week. The road at 33rd and Knott is now back open, and temporary traffic calming devices are now being removed. Environmental Services in front of council today to increase the original sinkhole contract to pay for the repairs to the second sinkhole. And I think there are staff in the room, or at least online, who can answer any additional questions that you might have.
I have no additional questions, Commissioner Maps. And let me just say, this is a good example of good government. My only concern was when there's $1 million override in a contract, for it to be on the consent agenda, I think it raises more questions. Let me just say, well done. Thank you very much. I support this proposal.
Thank you, and I also want to take a moment just to thank BES staff. They were great on this project, worked on the fly. You might remember as we were doing this work, members of the neighborhood came in to express their concerns and frankly frustrations around some traffic pattern stuff. My BES people did a great job of working with them to clean up the traffic things. I'm delighted to report that that project is basically done at this point. We're just kind of removing the rest of our equipment from out there, and life moves on, and I sure hope that the new infrastructure will last another 150 years, which I think is about as long as that pipe, one of the pipes that we replaced has been around. So, Mr. Mayor, that concludes
Great.
my comments.
Thank you. Is there any public testimony on this item?
No one
This is
signed
an
up.
emergency ordinance. Please call the roll.
Maps,
Aye.
Ryan,
Aye.
Hardesty,
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. Thank you for the discussion, and the ordinance is adopted. The second item that was pulled was item 866. It has to be read.
Sorry, I was just pulling it up. Amend annual grant fund limit not to exceed $450,000 for the Habitat Fund in support of the Bull Run Water Supply Habitat Conservation Plan.
This is a non-emergency ordinance. Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Commissioner Maps, you again. I pulled this item because I see that we are doubling the amount of funds.
Yeah.
But the ordinance itself was unclear about who would have access to those funds, how they would be distributed, what are you measuring, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought maybe a brief presentation would be in order for this particular item.
Absolutely, happy to do it. First, I should frame this by saying the ordinance before us today is not about actually making grants. Rather, it's about making some minor administrative changes to the way this grant program is organized. Here's the story behind this ordinance. The federal government requires the Water Bureau to fund $5 million in habitat restoration projects over a 20-year period, and that 20-year period runs from 2010 to 2030. As part of this program, this work also needs to be done by third parties. So this is essentially a grant program that's designed to get community groups and other enterprises involved in the work of helping restore our natural spaces. Since 2010, the Water Bureau has funded $2 million in habitat restoration projects through this program, which means the Water Bureau has $3 million in restoration project dollars that we need to get out the door by 2030, because we have to spend $5 million over 20 years. Only got $2 million out the door. We still got $3 million that we need to move. Now, here's the problem. The Water Bureau is currently only authorized to award up to $250,000 a year as part of this program, which means if you do the math there, we are not going to be able to get that $3 million out the door without raising that cap. So the ordinance before us today is seeking council approval to raise the amount that we make available for habitat restoration from $250,000 a year to $450,000 a year. Let me point out that this does not involve any new money. This does not involve any general funds. Instead, this change is an administrative adjustment that the Water Bureau needs to implement in order to stay in compliance with federal mandates.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
My questions. Now I have. Now he's got one.
Sure. And,
I'm just curious. That's why you have a job like this. So this is a great technical fix, but operationally, we've had trouble getting money out the door.
Yeah.
So tell me about how operationally this is going to be expedited so we'll actually meet the goal.
Sure. Well, I think the intuition here is, number one, we think that this has been running for, more than a decade at this point, I believe. Some years we don't get all the dollars out the door. We actually think, though, by making more dollars available, a broader range of groups might be drawn to participate in this program. So if you were not interested in we fund multiple projects for this. So it's more, frankly, to cut to the bottom line, I think some tribes might be more interested in participating in this work if there was more dollars on the table.
I look forward to hearing about those relationships, how they're cultivated. Thanks.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And at some point, I'm sure within the next year, we'll be back before council sharing the good news about who won these awards. It's one of those really feel-good council sessions where some amazing groups come in and doing really great environmental work. Well, I think we've done this a couple of times since we've all been here, and we'll do it again. And it's one of the better days on council. Sure.
Very good. Is there any public testimony on this item?
No one signed up.
This is a first reading of a non-emergency ordinance. It moves to second reading. We are adjourned.